Tonight, London remembers. Local ceremonies honoring the ultimate sacrifice.
You can't really put it into words. No, it's just so moving.
Plus, a heaping helping of the heavy stuff.
Not used to getting the snowblower going, and I had to get that out this morning.
Lake effect snow in abundance. And safe and sound.
Worried sick, just waiting on pins and needles.
A local family making contact with loved ones in the aftermath of a hurricane.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with Remembrance Day services here in London, paying tribute to the people who served and sacrificed. With more from today's ceremony at Victoria Park, here's Sean Irvin.
Be it mother and daughter or father and son, Londoners came together to remember the fallen and those who served. For those who carry the memories of battle and deployment, emotions on this day are deeply personal and difficult to express.
I was thinking about all the people that we lost, Canadian Army, you know, the guys that I served with. And there's things that happened that I don't bother even talking about.
It is a reality many aging veterans share. Those sitting in the available chairs around the cenotaph are among the few left to tell their stories. But nearby, in 3 small buses, veterans from Parkwood Hospital came to pay their respects to the fallen.
Well, it's important because we all lost somebody, you know, or we were there, you know. You can't really put it into words. No, it's just so moving.
The experience also moved a member of the Salvation Army Jubilee Band. 2 of his sons are in service today, one a veteran of combat.
Our son, I know, our youngest son especially, lost a few good friends in combat in Afghanistan, and so this is a very special day always for him as well.
This day is also special to Mary Byron. Among the first to arrive, she attended in memory of her husband, who passed away in February.
And we made a promise that if anything one of us couldn't make it, one of us would come down and do this for our men in our service. I mean, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
We are grateful to the younger veterans and the older veterans who gather in mutual respect and admiration.
I think it's an important day to just reflect on the past as well as the present.
And as this city does, veterans express their gratitude.
You know, you got a community out there that cares for us.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
And in Clinton, the community's main street was partially closed today for the local remembrance service. Many children were in attendance alongside local veterans. Clinton's cenotaph was one of many hosting ceremonies across Midwestern Ontario today. Later on CTV News, we'll have coverage from the National Remembrance Ceremony in Ottawa, and we'll dive into some of the critical issues facing veterans in this country today. Before heading to today's ceremonies, many across southwestern Ontario were digging out from heavy snowfall overnight. With more on how the region is coping, here's Jerry Dewan.
While Monday's snowfall may have been the appetizer for London's road maintenance crews, Tuesday was the full meal.
I know this is not ideal for anyone, but it is actually good for our team.
Joe Gillard is division manager for road operations. He says every year brings new staff, new contractors, and new routes for snow clearing.
This isn't the official winter season, you could call it, so it allows us to get some training done and get people adjusted to their new beats.
A priority for crews on this day was ensuring safe access to the cenotaph for Remembrance Day observances. The early snowfall also allowed Brendan Pilgrim to give his snowblower an early season test.
Obviously, it's very early for us. Not used to getting the snowblower going, and I had to get that out this morning. But yeah, it's heavy, wet snow. not really a lot of fun, is it?
Pilgrim and his wife both had appointments this morning, and ignoring the snow wasn't an option.
So yeah, trying to get the cars cleaned off, get the driveway out so everybody can get out and do their business today.
Schools in Elgin and Middlesex were closed, but buses were running in London, but not without issues. The St. Jude's students and parents were waiting for over half an hour for the bus, which had some students thinking about what they could do with a day off.
Either play Roblox, or I just go outside and build a snow fort, or I do snow fights.
5-year-old Ethan Yang was out helping his mom clear the driveway so he could get to his JK class.
Doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Savannah Yee didn't expect the big pile of white stuff in her driveway when she came out in the morning.
I think I have cleaned the snow for 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The OPP had to deal with a number of collisions on the 400 series highways overnight, responding to about 40 crashes in the Middlesex County area. Fortunately, there were no serious injuries reported. A jackknife tractor trailer resulted in the shutdown of the 402 in Lambton County to allow tow crews to get in and pull it free. Warmer temperatures will give us a reprieve from the snow in the week ahead. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Good evening. Cold air over the Great Lakes generating lake effect snow, and that was the culprit last night. We had those bands set up. Areas that picked up the heaviest amounts of snow: eastern Lambton County and western Middlesex, parts of Huron County as well, dealing with blowing snow and accumulation. That's come to an end, but we do have a warm front that's approaching the region tonight, and that'll lead to some patchy light freezing drizzle. Now, it looks quite impressive on the satellite radar. However, at the surface, we're not expecting a whole lot to develop, but some mixed precipitation is possible this evening. And again, freezing drizzle as we head through the overnight. Temperatures have dipped down to the freezing mark after a high of around +1. Milder along the lakeshore between 1 and 3 degrees. Snowfall amounts in the region quite varied. Parts of our area, again, those areas that I mentioned, eastern Lambton, western Middlesex, some areas 50+ centimeters of snow. So that is a very significant amount. That means slushy conditions are expected in the coming days, and the melt will be on. The temperature as we push toward midnight, we're down to a -1. The winds continuing out of the southwest. Coming up, I'll take you through the extended forecast. We'll look ahead to the weekend. We do have one bright day on the way. Tomorrow, though, looks unsettled. I'll have all your local weather details in just a few minutes. Carlyle.
Thanks very much, Julie. Residents in a North London neighborhood say they're on edge after a shooting early Monday morning. Police say a townhouse was targeted and there were people inside when the gunfire rang out. With more, here's Brian Bicknell.
The police cars and yellow crime scene tape are now gone from this townhouse complex. But what's left are the bullet holes in one unit's door and the anxiety among the neighbors.
It's been pretty close-knit and peaceful around here until suddenly in the middle of the night it's blah, blah, blah.
Conrad Cosley was awoken by unusual-sounding gunfire coming from across the courtyard early Monday morning.
And I heard just a couple little, it sounded like just splats, not like a handgun, it sounded like something automatic.
Yeah.
It was like a suppressor or something like that.
Police say around 3:20 Monday morning, multiple gunshots struck a residence in the 700 block of Huron Street. The home was occupied at the time of the shooting, but no one was injured. Neighbor Ann Allender was already awake when she heard the shots.
And my husband sleeps on the couch, and he was watching TV, and I thought it was on the TV. And I just heard like 4 pop, 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 like that. And I thought, that's strange.
Other neighbors I spoke with did not wish to go on camera, saying they were afraid for their own safety. And they all said that police are often seen at that particular unit.
2.5 weeks ago, they were here doing a surveillance, so I sort of figured something's going on.
Investigators say this was a targeted shooting. It marks the 22nd shooting incident in London this year. In a statement, police said shootings targeting buildings can be attempts to intimidate or send a message. Each of their reported instances require thorough investigations to determine the motive. The investigation has been assumed by the LPS Major Crime Section, but as long as there's a shooter at large, some neighbors won't be resting easy.
Like, we're a medium-sized city. Didn't think it was that violent, but I guess it is.
I'm trying to feel safe here. I did until I heard that.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A family here in London say they've made contact with loved ones in Jamaica in the wake of Hurricane Melissa. It had been days since they last heard from them, but they're safe, surviving the storm. However, as Rita Ismail reports, their island home was ruined.
It's been 2 weeks since Hurricane Melissa battered Jamaica, leaving behind widespread destruction and uncertainty. Among those caught in the chaos, Canadian couple Richard and Diane Kitching, whose island home took a direct hit.
They were underneath the porch, exposed to the elements in the wind, trying to decide what their next move was going to be, and the phone cut out.
For days, their family back here in London had no idea if they had made it through.
Worried sick, just waiting on pins and needles. I had no idea if they were injured, if, God forbid, that they were even alive. I had no idea.
Relief finally came through social media, confirming the couple had survived. Their son Jason spoke with them for the first time last week.
The whole house is on a slant now because it was blown off its footings. Such powerful winds, but it blew a whole house over. The bedroom still has a roof over it, and they were able to put blocks under their bed to make it level.
And the stove as well.
So they're
running on a generator.
Yeah, they're still living up there, kind of just getting by.
In response to the devastation, the Canadian Red Cross has deployed emergency medical teams to help people like the Kitchings.
We already had pre-positioned emergency stock, so blankets, hygiene parcels, food, etc., throughout the country anticipating this hurricane, and so those were distributed immediately and started to actually provide medical assistance, some psychosocial assistance, referrals to medical centers, transportation, ambulances, those kind of elements. So that is now being scaled up through the Canadian Red Cross medical team.
In the meantime, the Kitchings have launched a GoFundMe to help rebuild their home and their lives. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Local health units are gearing up for a testing blitz tracking radon levels in Ontario households. Scott Miller has more on the odorless gas and the risk it poses.
Dale Little pulls a small black disc out of a paper envelope. Doesn't look like much, right? But this tiny radon test kit could save your life.
The issue with radon is that it can cause lung cancer at high levels. So long-term exposure to radon could cause lung cancer. It's the second leading cause of lung cancer in Canada behind smoking.
As part of Radon Action Month, Little, along with every other public health inspector in Canada, is encouraging residents to test their homes for radon, which is a tasteless, odorless gas that's produced from naturally occurring uranium in the soil and rocks. It can enter people's basements through cracks in foundation floors and walls, or through sump pump holes and other drains.
This is something that actually it's hidden and you don't know it's there. So you should make every attempt to find out whether you have high levels of radon in your home. And there are experts, mitigation experts, that can help you lower the radon levels in your home.
At last count in 2013, about 12% of tested homes in Huron and Perth counties had high enough radon levels to necessitate action to remove it from their homes.
What you really need to do if you have high levels of radon is to extract that radon from the basement, so pull it out via a pump and actually send it to the outside. Once the radon is in the outside around your house, it just escapes into the atmosphere. It's not a problem at all. It's only if you're living and breathing this radioactive gas for prolonged periods of time, and it actually is serious and significant.
Because you can't smell it or see it, Mercer Little and public health experts say the only way to know if radon is a problem in your home is to get your own tiny black disc or professional electronic device to test for it.
You won't know you have it until you test for it, and test kits are widely available. They come in all different kinds of devices, but find one that's right for you and get a test and see what you got.
In Clinton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
A warning from London City Hall today about potential dangers associated with e-scooters and the rules for who's actually allowed to ride them. As Daryl Newcomb reports, that message comes as council considers extending a pilot project permitting e-scooters on city streets.
Less than 2 months after a man riding an e-scooter was killed in a collision in northeast London, City Council must decide if a pilot project permitting them on streets and pathways will be extended another year. On Monday, several councillors expressed frustration about numerous complaints they've received regarding reckless behaviour and speeding.
I do get a number of complaints of people, especially on the TVP, again, modifications and causing issues on there.
The province's e-scooter pilot project was set to expire this winter, but has been extended until November 2029. London chose to participate by permitting personal e-scooters to operate on roads with speed limits up to 50 kilometers per hour and on municipal pathways. Riders must remain under 24 kilometers per hour, be over 16 years old, and those under 18 require a helmet.
We have heard loud and clear that this is a priority for the public, and that's why we're working so closely with our police partners and with the London Middlesex Road Safety Committee to gear defined education in relation to this specific bylaw.
City staff revealed they'll be participating in an educational campaign reminding parents e-scooters are not an appropriate holiday gift for children under 16. And staff said London Police have contacted local school boards about sending flyers home reminding parents about the restrictions.
That education piece is really important. The other safety issue that I see with scooters is the doubling up as well, like creating more heaviness on that scooter, harder to control, harder to stop.
City staff recommend extending the pilot project for 1 year to allow for the collection of data including utilization, enforcement, and collisions. Then council could consider that data before deciding if it will renew the bylaw each year.
My preference, of course, would be to stay the course and ensure we're aligned with the province and with other municipalities.
Council will consider the future of e-scooters at its meeting on November 25th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Canadian researchers are studying the impact military service can have on the brain. It's not just about mental health either, but the physical impacts of concussions. With more on the efforts to better protect and treat service members, here's Natalie Johnson.
It's about 5K.
Down on the boardwalk by his East End home, Aaron O'Toole still maintains a quick pace in life after politics.
When I run, I generally go to the volleyball courts.
The former federal Conservative leader harnesses physical activity to support brain health, grateful that he never suffered a brain injury during his years of service in the military.
Our veterans serve, and many of them come back with injuries, both physical, mental, some aren't visible. And traumatic brain injury is something that we're really starting to understand.
Now, in this time of remembrance, O'Toole is pledging to donate his brain when he dies to Project Enlist. Research conducted by the Concussion Legacy Foundation to better understand the impact of military service on the brain.
You first think of the roadside bomb and, the light armored vehicle and the concussion, but it doesn't have to be that dramatic.
It's this revelation that it's not just concussions, it's the cumulative non-concussive impacts over time that people sustain during the course of their service that can end up leading to mental health issues, neurodegenerative disease, CTE.
Even though O'Toole didn't suffer head trauma during his time in the military, his brain can serve as a baseline or control for the testing. So far, more than 500 veterans have pledged to donate their brains for research.
I think we need to make sure we have the best protection, headgear and other things for our men and women in uniform. And we have to find treatment methods to reduce injury and treat it early so that there can be a quality of life.
Quality of life that is so critical year-round, well after Canadians take off their poppies when the Remembrance Day ceremony ends.
I hope this donation will take place a long time in the future, but I want to be part of something that is so positive.
Arming the Canadian military with research that will help to better educate and equip, another step forwards in supporting those who serve. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
When we come back, the tradition and the symbolism, we head to Ottawa for Canada's National Remembrance Ceremony.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. Thousands gathered in Ottawa today for the National Remembrance Day ceremony. With more on that service and what it meant to the veterans in attendance, here's Abigail Beeman.
They came to Ottawa from coast to coast.
We have so many Newfoundlanders and who've passed through the wars.
I feel we owe a debt of gratitude to those servicemen and women who, from the past, the present, and the future.
There's a heaviness, knowing each year fewer and fewer are at the national ceremony like Elmer Friesen, here from Calgary at 103. Second World War veterans now number fewer than 4,000.
I'm so glad that my son thought I should come here to experience this alive. So moving.
If we don't remember, well, the world's enough of a mess. You can see what happens when we don't.
Time marches on. Now we have to remember our newer veterans, ones returning from Afghanistan, Bosnia, and the newer conflicts, and what we're facing today.
My transition's been pretty good. I have good days, bad days. To be here today is something that I've always wanted to do.
A service imbued with meaning. The Silver Cross mother, Nancy Payne, remembers son Randy, killed in Afghanistan. Weather so miserable, the traditional fly past replaced by a single helicopter. But still, they stood.
Do you want to stand up? Yes, I do.
Elmer Friesen determined to lay a poppy on the tomb of the unknown soldier for his late brother.
They sacrificed so many guys and never came home. And here I am sitting here and people are admiring me for, and it was a privilege for me to be in the service.
It has become a tradition to lay a poppy here after the ceremony, a small but impactful gesture, leaving a striking red tribute to all those who served and those who gave their lives for Canada. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Londoners also gathered for a ceremony at the Remembrance Gardens this morning off Veterans Memorial Parkway. It was organized by the Remember November 11th Association, a group looking to expand the garden's usage throughout the year.
We've built this to give back to our community, and the park itself has created its own group of people, let's say a community of people, that like to come here to visit.
This is a space for all of the community to come, to have a quiet place to reflect, and to look at the amazing history that is on display here. The commemorations of the different battles, the commemorations of individual Londoners whose names are etched in the stone here. So it really is a unique and special spot in East London.
Our mission statement is to remember the fallen, to honor our veterans, and to teach the children. So a lot of what we're doing is these types of ceremonies to remember the fallen, but we like to talk about our veterans a lot, and we're trying to leave things in place so that our children have something to learn from, and teachers have, like this park, teachers have somewhere to bring the kids or to refer to that has literally this history carved in stone.
Community groups in Stratford and St. Mary's went above and beyond this year, honoring local veterans with handmade displays featuring tens of thousands of poppies. As Jeff Pickle reports, organizers hope these displays maintain the spirit of remembrance year-round.
The familiar and touching sights and sounds of remembrance in Stratford, but with a very special backdrop.
This is our third year of our poppy project, and just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
For the last 3 years, local volunteers have amassed over 30,000 handmade poppies.
And whether you made 2 poppies or 1,000 poppies, it didn't matter. Every poppy counted. And yeah, the community just gets behind it more and more every year.
Their goal to show love and respect for Canadians who served and sacrificed.
And when you walk across the bridge and when you see the poppies, it brings both smiles and
and tears.
To those who organize the formal ceremony of remembrance, it makes the day a community celebration.
And it reassures everyone, and it reassures the veterans that are still here that what they did isn't going to be forgotten anytime soon.
Stratford also adding a veterans crosswalk in front of the cenotaph.
Well, I think remembrance really needs to be every day of the year, and when we have the crosswalk and when we have these beautiful quilted poppies across the bridge.
And the Poppy Project inspiring other communities, including nearby St. Mary's, who covered the Queen Street Bridge.
I've had people reach out to me from British Columbia and New Brunswick just asking how we went about it. So yeah, it's definitely spreading.
A simple act of love.
It's pretty inspiring, yeah. When you drive down York Street and see that cedar hedge covered in totally red, it can bring tears to your eyes.
Promising to never forget. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Stratford.
On the desk now with Julie Anderson. I'm sure a lot of relief that most of that snowfall was pretty much done falling by the time a lot of these ceremonies were happening. But there was a lot this morning, and I know as I was shoveling today, I was not so sure. It feels like the snow that's going to melt at some point. It felt like it might be here for a while.
Yeah, I think it's going to melt pretty quickly.
Okay.
So over the
That's a
next
relief.
couple of days, today we did see those little snowbanks shrinking and a lot of slush out there, especially those side roads. Now tonight with the temperature dropping down below freezing briefly, we will see some icy conditions develop. So the areas that have not been plowed out, of course, getting quite slushy and a bit messy. Today we had a high of +1, a low of -4, comparing that with what's normal. It's been cold, that's for sure. Right now at the London airport at the freezing mark, and the winds out of the southwest on the hour. Satellite radar, that looks like a lot, as I mentioned, but really just some light precipitation at the surface. And over the next few hours, we could see a bit of light snowfall, areas to the north, a bit of mixing, and the potential for some freezing drizzle. So this warm front is pushing this warm layer of mid-level air in. As a result, as the precipitation falls through those cold levels of the lower atmosphere, it is freezing. So freezing drizzle possible. As we head through the overnight as well, temperature will dip down to about -1. That's just after midnight, but then start to come up as we push towards sunrise. So as we head out the door tomorrow morning, we will be above the freezing mark. Record warmth in Western Canada over the past couple of days. It's still quite warm in through the interior of BC and in Alberta. The cold core of the air now shifting in through central and northern Quebec and spreading eastward. And you can see temperatures to the south slowly starting to rebound now. So the upper trough that was in place yesterday that placed us right directly into that cold mass of air is shifting off to the east. Now, as we head through the day tomorrow, unsettled, we'll have this weak shortwave come through with a chance of some very light drizzle. As we head into the mid-morning hours, by the afternoon, some light rainfall as we head into Midwestern Ontario, and we could see some showers linger through the day. So more of a steady rain through the Bruce, Northern Grey and Bruce. And then as we head further south, potential once again for a bit of mixed precipitation, transitioning to some light rainfall. Now, a cold front will push through, and then you can see that flow coming off the lake, and then that leads to the lake effect showers in behind. So a weak wave comes through tomorrow morning with the chance of light freezing drizzle, transitioning to some very light drizzle in the afternoon with the risk of a few showers. And you can see more of a steady rain areas to the northwest, and that's that cool flow coming off Lake Huron. Now, in terms of rainfall amounts, not expecting a whole lot, but the melt will be on tomorrow afternoon. In London, we could see a couple millimeters of rain, areas to the north about 5 to 10 millimeters. Waking up tomorrow morning to +2, by noon hour 4 degrees, and winds out of the west 5 degrees in the afternoon with some showers. Forecast extended looks much better in terms of no snow on the way. Thursday, 40% chance of showers. This will still be some off lake, so daytime high about +6. And again, with that cold wind coming off Lake Huron, I am expecting a fairly significant deck of cloud to be in place. Friday, though, sunshine and 8 degrees, and then Saturday cloudy with a chance of nighttime rain. Saturday is the London Santa Claus Parade, so it'll be leaving the Western Fairgrounds and heading west on Dundas to ride out, and we're not expecting the rain to arrive until Saturday night. So I'll keep you posted on the timing of that. Double digits on Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud on Monday, bit of a cool down Monday into Tuesday, but daytime highs, that's right where we should be for this time of year at +7. Now, snowfall, yes, it'll be melting tomorrow. Again, slushy conditions expected across the region. 5 4 to 5 degrees, 5 as we head into Thursday with some showers, more of a steady rain tomorrow, especially areas to the north. Friday will be the best day over the next 7. It'll be nice to see the sunshine return. A beautiful fall day setting up at 7 degrees, and all the snow will be history. 7 on Saturday, cloudy with some nighttime rain and some showers on Sunday, the high 10, and daytime highs as we head into Monday, Tuesday, 6 to 7. So things stabilizing a bit in the extended forecast. So I mentioned the freezing drizzle tonight through the overnight Carlyle, possibility of some mixed precipitation as well. It's just some warm air coming in. A few showers around tomorrow, but no major snow in the extended forecast.
All right, Julie, thanks very much. Still ahead, an auto investment for the industry's future. A major car maker donating millions to a southwestern Ontario college. Toyota has donated $2 million to Conestoga College in Kitchener. As Karis Map reports, the money will be used to upgrade the tools students use training for careers in the auto sector.
That's not the sound of popcorn popping, but rather an assembly line hard at work. A $2 million donation from Toyota will allow for 3 more lines like this one to fill the lab at Conestoga College's School of Engineering and Technology.
We've built the first line, so the money is going to actually go to building the other 3 lines, as well as adding some more bells and whistles for the latest and greatest technology in Industry 4.0.
Setting a new learning standard for colleges across the province.
We've already gotten portions of the funding that we've used to purchase the bulk of the materials, and we managed to get that in right before the tariffs really started to have an effect. So when they're learning here, they're learning with industry items as opposed to learning with just buttons and lights.
Isam Sagiri is a second-year co-op student who has worked with the school's current manufacturing line. He says future students will only benefit from the experience.
I would be able to learn new stuff with robotics, automation, mechanical, designing, a lot of things, and troubleshooting as well.
The students may not be building car parts at the Cambridge campus, but the experience prepares them with the skills to be successful across the automotive sector.
Toyota hires a fair number of co-op students from our programs so that they're helping in the maintenance departments, they're helping in production departments where they can help keep the lines running, do small continuous improvement projects.
In an emailed statement to CTV News, Toyota's president said they're helping cultivate the next generation of skilled professionals.
I was able to understand how to work with safety equipment and understand how to use new tools to automate a line. And that was really a good experience for me.
The 3 lines are currently being built and set to be finished by spring of next year. But Conestoga officials say they won't be delivered here until September once they finish redecorating the labs to highlight Toyota's contributions. Karis Map, CTV News, Cambridge.
A man in the Toronto area says he was shocked when he took his vehicle in for what he thought would be a simple repair job. He says his wife had opened the sunroof and it wouldn't close. As Pat Foran reports, the quoted cost was more than $20,000.
Sunroofs are a luxury option, and over the years they have gotten bigger and bigger. Mark Hiltz of Newmarket owns a 2020 Toyota Camry and says last month the sunroof malfunctioned.
My wife was out with the vehicle and it was a nice day, opened the sunroof, then got home, proceeded to try and close it. It wouldn't close.
Hiltz took the car to a Toyota dealership and the sunroof was given an inspection.
It has bound up. It looks like got an issue here binding up on the driver's side. So what happens in that case? It actually twists the frame of the glass. This headliner has to come out, and it's basically the whole roof that gets replaced.
Hiltz was told to replace the frame and related parts would be just over $22,500.
I thought for sure that maybe the decimal place was in the wrong spot. If a sunroof is $22,000, like I said, a motor or a transmission must be double that.
Instead of paying the massive bill, the dealer said they could seal the sunroof shut at a cost of almost $600.
They disconnected the power to it and it's sealed shut, and now we can't use it.
The panoramic glass on the 2020 Camry does take up most of the roof, and a spokesperson for Toyota Canada told CTV News it suffered a deformation of the frame of the panoramic sunroof assembly caused by an external factor. The cost reflects the size of the unit and the complexity of the replacement procedure. Newer panoramic sunroofs are complex and have many moving parts, which can make them more expensive to repair. Hilt says he just can't believe it costs over $22,000 to fix it.
This is just a piece of glass that opens. How can it cost that much for a sunroof?
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index was up as the price of oil moved higher. The TSX gained 93 points. In New York, the Dow added 559. The Nasdaq fell 59. The Canadian dollar up a modest 0.04 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold lost almost $6 an ounce, and oil gained 91 cents a barrel. Later on CTV News, continuing Remembrance Day coverage, including a story from BC where a local legion is thriving while others across the country struggle.
Hi there, I'm Dean Astolfi, the VP of Supportive Housing for Canadian Mental Health Association Thames Valley Addiction and Mental Health Services. Supportive housing is a solution that's not just based on affordable housing. It's based on the supports, the wraparound supports that people need for their recovery. So it's very specialized supports that we provide. We've been providing them for about 50 years here at CMHA Thames Valley, and it is something that provides dignity, privacy, long-term housing where they can be safe and they can get the supports they need to move forward in their recovery. The timing is now for us to do things that we can do because all levels of government are stepping up right now to build supportive housing, and that's the place we need to be, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. Particularly, we need donors, we need capital, we need land, and thankfully we have donors like Digital Extremes coming forward and other big donors that have come because they believe in the work that we do and they know that we can have success.
Hi, I'm Sheldon Carter. I am the president of Digital Extremes. Digital Extremes is a video game developer here in the city. We've been here for over 30 years. We live here, we work here, and so it's kind of impossible to be in a city and in a community and not see the need. As a company, we do a lot of short-term stuff, fundraising and those sorts of things, but we wanted to have a long-term project, something big that we felt would make an impact. This project here at Hill Street, this was great because it gave that not just housing, which I think we all see from our neighbors that are in need, not just housing, but those wraparound services, that community presence and the healthcare expertise. And so we're really excited to be a part of that.
To invest in something like supportive housing is something that you can see it, right? You can see the good that it does, and it's going to last. For more information on how you can make a difference and learn more about supportive housing and support our campaign, please go to our website or scan our QR code.
London City councillors are raising concerns ahead of a change in Blue Box collection, which will affect more than 500 businesses, nonprofits, and places of worship.
With the economic realities, is it not more likely that the recyclables are going to end up in the landfill?
Starting January 1st, Blue Box collection will become the responsibility of the companies that produce recyclable waste. Residential collection will not change, but 535 non-residential locations were recently declared ineligible. Councillors say the provincial government has not explained why the two sources of recycling can't be collected on the same routes. Collecting from small businesses and nonprofits would require hiring a contractor.
It will be substantially more expensive. The reason we're able to do it now at the cost that we do it now is we're currently collecting next door. But because we cannot put the blue bin waste from these businesses and nonprofits and places of worship in the same truck or through the same processing system, it will be an entirely separate system.
Provincial government officials say they've secured a one-year extension with the feds for the national $10 a day childcare program. The program currently charges an average fee of $19 a day in Ontario. It was set to expire at the end of March. The one-year extension comes with nearly $700 million in additional funding from Ottawa. The province's education minister says fees will not rise next year, but it's not enough money to bring the cost down either, closer to the $10 a day goal. The London Lightning's first ever coach, Michael Ray Richardson, has died. Richardson was a former NBA All-Star who led the Lightning to the first 2 championships in NBL Canada history in 2012 and 2013. Despite his talent on the hardwood, Richardson was banned from the NBA for drug use in 1986. According to someone close to his family, Richardson died shortly after a prostate cancer diagnosis, and he was 70 years old. Tomorrow on CTV News, after the verdict, we speak with TSN senior investigative reporter Rick Westhead on the future of hockey culture after the World Junior Sexual Assault trial. Tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Welcome back to KP's Rescue 975, brought to you by London's Airport Kia. We're showcasing our friend Shadow, who was here this past summer, arriving in style in a 2025 Kia Seltos. Shadow is a 1-year-old lab bursting with energy, heart, and a whole lot of love. He's still looking for his forever home, so we wanted to remind everyone about this adorable pup. He was rescued from Quebec, and Shadow made the road trip to London thanks to Animal Alert. He's playful, gentle, and non-reactive. He loves to explore and would be the perfect companion for adventures, belly rubs, and everything in between. He needs a fenced backyard to burn off some energy and a strong leader who can be consistent with training and boundaries. If you're interested in adopting Shadow, visit animalert.ca and follow them on socials. It was a snowy Remembrance Day. Ceremonies across the region, many digging out this morning. Thank you to Paul Rutherford for sending this photo in today. Risk of freezing drizzle overnight and early Wednesday. Temperatures are set to rebound as we head toward the weekend, and a bright spot in the extended forecast, some sunshine on Friday.
Several European countries mark Remembrance Day with ceremonies today. In the UK, the Princess of Wales attended a ceremony at the National Memorial Arboretum just outside the city of Birmingham, which is near the National British Site of Remembrance, honoring fallen soldiers. In France, President Emmanuel Macron attended the annual First World War Armistice commemoration in Paris. The armistice signing took effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, ending hostilities between the Allies and Germany on the Western Front. More than 1 million Canadians served in the Second World War, and today only a few thousand remain. With more on their stories and what they want Canadians to remember, here's Alex Carpa.
102-year-old Percy Rosamond was just 19 when he joined the Royal Canadian Air Force in 1942.
I don't know why, but I enjoyed my time in the Air Force.
He was an aircraft mechanic during the war stationed in England, where he worked on Liberator bombers. Rosamond recalls his brother, who was an air gunner during the war, left England the same day he arrived.
I thought that was quite a novel thing to have happen.
101-year-old Andrew Prodanek was also 19 when he joined the war effort in 1943.
I tried to get into be a pilot, but all the positions were filled because this was near the end of the war, and so I took on navigation.
Prodanek trained in Brandon, Regina, Saskatoon, and ended up in Rivers, Manitoba. By the time his training was complete, the war was over. He says he has fond memories of his time in active duty.
It was very interesting work.
With Remembrance Day, Prodanek and Rosamond will both remember friends who made the ultimate sacrifice. And with that, Rosamond is sharing a simple message.
Just never forget.
Both men live at this facility here in Winnipeg and are part of a dwindling number of Second World War veterans in Canada, a conflict where more than 1 million Canadians served. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Finally tonight, in the wake of the pandemic, many legions across the country have struggled to stay open, but some have seen a revival and are even thriving. Andrew Johnson has more on one of the success stories in BC.
G59, we have a bingo call.
It's a packed house for bingo night at the Maple Ridge Legion.
Do people get into it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They start screaming the numbers out.
The dozens with dabbers poring over bingo cards are some of the more than 2,600 members of the largest and most successful Legion in the country.
It's an amazing place.
I've always felt very comfortable and very safe in here to come in all by myself, have a glass of wine on a dinner, or meet with friends.
Struggling. Bingo night, karaoke, dances, and the classic meat draw bring people in, but there's more to this Legion than entertainment.
In addition to fundraising and support for veterans and their families, the Maple Ridge Legion operates 2 housing developments built on partially donated land decades ago. It provides hundreds of homes for veterans and seniors at much less than market value. The branch boasts assets in the range of $50 million.
We had some great executive members who were forward-thinking.
Very good groundwork to begin with. When I got there over 30 years ago, there was people in place that knew what they were doing.
They credit business smarts and huge community support with helping this branch weather the post-pandemic struggles that have led to some closures across the country. Membership in BC overall is now growing, and the Legion says that's also happening Canada-wide as branches diversify.
Some innovative models are starting to pop up around the country. So you have that model where you have help available at a branch. You might also have some support services in-house.
In Maple Ridge, members are incredibly grateful for the place they count on.
Where do you go? You can't just go to a bar. You know, where do you meet people? Well, you come to the Legion.
They hope for many years to come. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Maple Ridge, BC.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.